How are you all? This is Sutha. Welcome to JST Creation. Starting with magic ring, 3 chains, right, and 23 double crochet in this magic ring space. 1, total of 24 double crochet. Now I am going to tighten this circle and slip stitch into the third chain. Round 1 finish. Now round 2, 1, 2, 3 chain and one more chain for the chain space. Okay, now double crochet on, skip this one and on to the next one on the third double crochet, 2 chains and double crochet on the same chain. Okay, it's going to be V like this. So again 1 chain and double crochet into the, skip 1 double crochet on the second double crochet. Okay, chain 1, skip 1 and on the second one another double crochet, chain 2 and again double crochet on the same chain, stitches rather, sorry. Okay, again 1 chain, skip 1 on the next one, a double crochet. Okay, it's going to be like this. The last set of double crochet, the second rows rather, double crochet, chain 2 and double crochet on the same stitch, chain 1 and slip stitch onto this third chain. Round 2 finish. Round number 3, chain 3 and one more chain considered as a chain space, and on this V double crochet, 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet and 3 double crochet. On the third double crochet I am going to have another 3 chains and slip stitch onto this first chain space. Okay, again 2 double crochet on the same V stitch. Right, again chain 1 and double crochet on top of this 1 double crochet here. Chain 1 and double crochet on the V stitch again. Three double crochets, 3 chains and slip stitch onto the first chain. Again 2 double crochet on the same V stitch. Okay, it's going to be like this. The last stitch on the row number 3 here on the V, 1, 2, 3 double crochet, 3 chains and slip stitch onto the first chain. Again 3 double crochets, sorry 2 double crochets. right? Chain 1 and slip stitch onto third chain. Right? Round number 3, finish. Round number 4, slip stitch onto this chain 1 space. Now I'm going to have 8 chains. 8 chains and slip stitch onto this chain space. Okay. Again 3 chains and slip stitch onto this chain space. Okay, 8 chains, slip stitch onto this chain space, 3 chains and slip stitch onto this chain space. Right, it's going to be like this. The last set of round number 4, again 8 chain, right, slip stitch onto this chain space, again 3 chains and slip stitch onto this chain space. Okay, round number 4, finish. Now round number 5, now we are going to do the workings on this 8 chain space. 1 slip stitch here, 3 chains and 7 more double crochets onto these chains. Total of 8 double crochets. Okay, now on this chain space I'm going to have 2 double crochet, chain 2 and again 2 double crochet on this chain 3 space. Okay, now again 8 double crochet on this chain 8 space. It's going to be like this. The last set of row number 5, 8 double crochets, and 2 double crochet on this chain 3 space, two chains and again 2 double crochet on this chain 3 space. Okay, and slip stitch onto the third chain of this. Right, round number 5 finish. Now round number 6, 1 2 3 chains and 1 more chain considered as a chain 1 space, and double crochet onto this next double crochet and chain 1, double crochet onto this next chain, double crochet, chain 1. total of 8 double crochets and 8 chain 1 space. Now in this 2 chain space, I'm going to have a double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet on the same chain space. Okay, it's going to be like this. Again, double crochet on this, skip these two, okay, skip these two, and on this going to have a double crochet, chain 1, again double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Okay, now I'm going to skip these 2 chains and do the workings on this 2 chain space. 2 chains and 2 double crochet again on the same chain space. The last set of row number 6, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, chain 1, the last of this double crochet, finish. Now double crochet on this chain 2 space, 1 and 2 double crochets, 2 chains, again 2 double crochet on the chains, same chain space, and slip stitch onto this 3rd chain. Round number 6 finish. Round number 7, slip stitch onto this chain 1 space. Okay, 4 chains and slip stitch onto this chain 1 space. Again 4 chains, and slip stitch onto this chain 1 space. The last chain 1 space. Okay, here on this chain I'm going to have 2 double crochet, two chains, and again 2 double crochet here, right, one more chain, 2 chains, and one more 2 double crochets here. So total of 3 sets of 2 double crochets here and 2 double crochet space. Again skip these two, and on the chain 1 space a slip stitch. Okay, 1 2 3 4 and slip stitch onto the chain 1 space. Right. Okay, now skip these 2 chains. Now I'm going to do the workings here. 1 2 chains and 2 double crochet on the same chain 2 space. Again 2 chains and 2 double crochet on the same chain 2 space. Okay, it's going to be like this. The last set of row number 7, skip these 2 chains and this chain double crochet also. Slip stitch onto this chain 1 space. Right? Again 4 chains and slip stitch onto the other chain 1 space. Slip stitch on the chain 1 space. Okay, 4 chain 1 space, slip stitch. Right, now skip these 3 double crochets and double crochet onto this. One double crochet, 2 double crochet and 2 chains. Again 2 double crochet here. Right, again 2 chains and 2 double crochet on the same chain 2 space. Okay, now slip stitch onto this first 4 chains. Right, round number 7 finish. It's going to be like this. Round number 8, again 4 chains and slip stitch onto this chain 4 space and 4 chains. Slip stitch onto this chain 4 space. Right, now skip these 2 chain. I'm going to have 3 double crochet cluster on this 2 chain space. Okay, 1 2 and 3 double crochet cluster. Again chain 2 and 1 more 3 double crochet cluster on the same chain space. 1 2 and 3 double crochet cluster. Okay, again chain 1 and on this second chain space going to have another 3 double crochet cluster. 2 and 3 double crochet cluster, 2 chain and 3 double crochet cluster here. Okay, now skip these 2 chains and slip stitch onto this chain 4 space. again 4 chains and slip stitch here, 4 chains, slip stitch here, and double crochet onto this first double crochet space, double crochet cluster, 2 double crochet, 3 double crochet cluster, and chain 2, again 2 3 double crochet cluster here, okay, chain 1 and 3 double crochet cluster here, onto the next chain 2 space, chain 2 and 3 double crochet cluster here, okay, it's going to be like this. The last set of row number 8, 3 double crochet cluster, chain 2 and 3 double crochet cluster on the same chain space, chain 1 and again 3 double crochet cluster on the another chain 2 space, chain 2 and 3 double crochet cluster on the same chain space, slip stitch onto the chain 4 space, 4 chains, slip stitch here, now slip stitch onto this top of this cluster, okay, round number 8 finish. Now round number 9, again chain 4 and slip stitch onto this chain 4 space, okay. Now on this chain 2 space, again going to have 2 double crochet cluster, 3 double crochet cluster, 2 chains and again 3 double crochet cluster on the same chain space, now again 3 chains, skip these 2 chain space, on the next 2 chain space again 2 double crochet cluster, 2 chains, again 2 double crochet cluster, Okay, slip stitch onto this chain space and 4 chains, slip stitch onto this chain space. Okay, again on this 2 chain space, keep these all, and on this 2 chain space I'm going to have 3 double crochet cluster. Chain 2 and again 3 double crochet cluster on the same chain 2 space. Okay, now chain 3, skip these chain 2 space, on the second chain 2 space in between these 2 double crochet cluster, going to have 3 double crochet cluster here. One, two, and again 3 double crochet cluster on the chain space. Okay, it's going to be like this. The last set of round number 9, again 3 double crochet cluster, two chains and 3 double crochet cluster, three chains, skip these 2 chain space, on this 2 chain space going to have 2 double crochet cluster, 3 double crochet cluster. One, 2 chain, again 3 double crochet cluster. Okay, now slip stitch here on the chain space and 4 chains, slip stitch here. Now slip stitch onto this top of this cluster. Oops, sorry. Okay, round number 9 finish. Now round number 10, again slip stitch onto this chain 2 space, 1, 2, 3 chain, again 3 double crochet cluster here, 1, 2, 3 double crochet, chain 2, again 3 double crochet cluster here. Okay, now on this chain 3 space I'm going to have 1 double crochet and 2 chains, again another double crochet on the same chain 3 space. Okay, it's going to be a V here. Now 3 double crochet cluster on this chain 2 space, 2 chains and 3 double crochet cluster here. Right, now slip stitch here, 4 chains and slip stitch here. Right, again 2 double crochet cluster here, three double crochet cluster here, 2 chains and 3 double crochet cluster on the same chain 2 space. Okay, now double crochet on this chain 3 space, 2 chains, and again the double crochet on the same chain 3 space. Again 3 double crochet cluster on this chain 2 space. 1, chain 2 and 2 double crochet cluster on this chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3 double crochet cluster. The last set of round number 10. Again 3 double crochet cluster, okay, 2 chains and 3 double crochet cluster here, and double crochet on this chain 3 space, 2 chain, and again double crochet on this chain 3 space. Okay, now other 3 double crochet cluster on this 2 chain space. Chain 2 and 2 double crochet cluster here. Okay, slip stitch onto this chain space, again 4 chains, and 3 double slip stitch, 4 chains, slip stitch, and 4 chains here. Slip stitch onto this 3 double crochet cluster on top of the 3. Okay, round number 10 finish. It's going to be like this. Now round number 11, going to have a slip stitch onto this chain space, round chain 3, considered as in 1 double crochet and 2 more double crochet cluster. Okay, 2 chains, and again 3 double crochet cluster here, 3 double crochet cluster. Right, now on this V, earlier we made one V on this chain space, there I am going to have 8 double crochets. Now again 3 double crochet cluster on this V area. Three double crochet, 2 chains, and again 3 double crochet cluster on this same chain space. Okay, now slip stitch onto this chain 4 space, the first chain 4 space, and 4 chains, slip stitch onto the second chain 4 space, 4 chain, another slip stitch onto this, third chain for space. Again 3 double crochet cluster on this area here. Okay. 1, 2 and 3 double crochet cluster, chain 2, and again 3 double crochet cluster here. Okay, it's going to be like this. The last set of round number 11, slip stitch into this chain 1, 4 space, and again 4 chain, slip stitch onto this second 4 chain space, again 4 chain, and slip stitch into third chain space. Okay, and now slip stitch onto this top of this cluster. Round number finish. Right, now round number 12, slip stitch into this chain space, chain 3, it's considered as 1 double crochet, and again 3 double crochet cluster here, 2 more double crochet cluster here, 2 chains, and 1 more 3 double crochet cluster on the same chain space. Again 2 chain and double crochet cluster onto the same chain space. Total of 3 double crochet cluster in this 1 chain space. Okay, skip this cluster and first double crochet. Okay, on the second double crochet I'm going to have a double crochet, 1 double crochet. It's going to be 6 double crochets here on each chain, double crochets rather. Okay, skip this double crochet, the last double crochet, and this cluster on the chain space. I'm going to have another 3 double crochet cluster, chain 2, and 1 more double crochet cluster, okay, chain 2, the last set of treble, 3 double crochet cluster here. Okay, here 3 double crochet, 3 set of 3 double crochet. Now slip stitch onto this 4 chain space, 4 chain, and slip stitch onto this 4 chain space. That's it. Okay, now again in this chain space we're going to have 3 sets of 3 double crochet cluster. One, 2, and again 3 double crochet cluster, one, 2, and 1 more 3 double crochet cluster here. Okay, round 12 is going to be like this. Now again double crochet cluster onto this 2 chain space, 2, 3 double crochet cluster, chain 2, and 3 double crochet cluster on the same chain space. Chain 2, again 3 double crochet cluster. Okay, now slip stitch onto this chain 4 space. 1 2 3 4 chain, sorry, again 3 double slip stitch onto this, another slip stitch onto this cluster. Okay, round number 12 finish. Now round number 13. On this first 2 chain space, going to have 1 slip stitch, 3 chains as considered as a double crochet, and 2 more double crochet cluster. Okay, chain 2, and again 3 double crochet cluster on the same chain space. Okay, chain 2, and again another double crochet cluster here. 2 3 double crochet cluster, chain 2, and 1 more 3 double crochet cluster onto this same chain space. Okay, skip this first double crochet on the second double crochet. I'm going to have a double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet again on the third double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. It's going to be 4 double crochets. Okay, and again I'm going to have a double crochet cluster onto this chain 2 space. Three double crochet cluster, 2 chains, and 3 double crochet cluster again. Okay, chain 2, and again 2 double crochet cluster here. 3 double crochet cluster, 2 chains, and 3 double crochet cluster here. Okay, now this one here I'm going to have 1 slip stitch only. Okay, again going to have a double crochet cluster, 3 double crochet cluster on this area. Two chains, sorry. Again 2 double crochet cluster, chain 2, and again 3 double crochet cluster, two chains, and 3 double crochet cluster. Okay, it's going to be like this. The last set of round number 13. Here skip this last double crochet, and we're going to do the 3 double crochet cluster on this chain 2 space here. Chain 2, again 3 double crochet cluster on the chain 2 space. chain 2, another 3 double crochet cluster on this chain 2 space here. Okay. Now slip stitch onto this chain 4 space. Another slip stitch on top of this double crochet cluster. Round number 13 finish. Now round number 14, slip stitch onto this 2 chain space, 3 chain considered as a double crochet, and 2 more double crochet cluster here. Okay, again 2 chains and 1 more 3 double crochet cluster onto the same chain space. Okay, 3 chains, and again skip these 2 chain space. On the another cluster going to have 3 double crochet cluster. Two chain, and again same on the same 2 chain space going to have a double crochet cluster. Okay, now slip stitch onto this chain 1 space, 4 chains, 4 chains, and slip stitch onto the second chain space, 2, 3, 4, and slip stitch onto this third chain space. Okay, now again 4 double crochet, 3 double crochet cluster onto this area. Two chain and 3 double crochet cluster on the same chain space. Okay, again 1, 2, 3 chains. Skip these 2 chain space. On the cluster 3 double crochet cluster. Three double crochet cluster, 2 chains, and again 3 double crochet cluster here. Okay, now again, now here, okay, on this V area, 3 double crochet cluster on the cluster 2 chain space. Okay, again 2 chain and 3 double crochet cluster here. Right, 2 chain, 3 chains, another 3. Skip these 2 chain space, and on the second double crochet cluster going to have a 3 double crochet cluster. 2 and again 3 double crochet cluster. Okay, it's going to be like this. The last set of row number 14, slip stitch here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 chains, slip stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4 chains, slip stitch here. Okay, and again 3 double crochet cluster on this chain space. cluster, 2 chains, and again 3 double crochet cluster here. Okay, 3 chain and 2 double crochet cluster here. Okay, 2 chain, again 3 double crochet cluster here. Now slip stitch onto this top of this chain and finish it off. Row number 14 finish. Now row number 15, again slip stitch onto this chain space. Okay, 1 2 3 chains and 2 more double crochet cluster on the same chain space, 2 chains, and again 3 double crochet cluster here. Okay, now on this chain 3 space I'm going to have 8 double crochets. 8 double crochets. Again in this cluster area going to have 3 double crochet cluster. Three double crochet cluster, 2 chains, and again 3 double crochet cluster here. Right, on this chain 4 space also I am going to have 2 double crochet cluster. Three double crochet cluster, and again in these 2 chain space also I am going to have a cluster. Okay, 2 chains and 1 more cluster onto that chain space. Okay, now onto this cluster area, again cluster. Okay, and again 8 double crochet here. Right, it's going to be like this. The last set of round number 15, again on this chain space I'm going to have 3 double crochet cluster, 2 chain, and again 3 double crochet cluster. Okay, on the second chain space, 4 chain space, again 3 double crochet cluster, okay, 2 chain and 3 double crochet cluster here. Okay, now here on this cluster area also I am going to have 3 double crochet cluster. Okay, 2 chain, and again 3 double crochet cluster. Right, now 8 double crochets here. Eight double crochets finished. Now again on this cluster area, going to have 3 double crochet cluster. Two chain, and again 3 double crochet cluster here. Okay, now slip stitch on top of this cluster. Round number 15 finish. Now round number 16, again slip stitch here on the cluster. Okay, again we are going to have a cluster here. 3 chain and 2 double crochet cluster, 2 chain, and again 2 double crochet cluster here. Right, now skip this cluster and one first double crochet. On that second double crochet I'm going to have a double crochet. Double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet on the next double crochet. Now skip this last double crochet and this cluster. Now I am going to have a double cluster here. 3 double crochet cluster here, 2 chain, and again 3 double crochet cluster here. Now chain 1, and again here on this cluster area going to have a cluster. Right, 2 chains and again cluster. Okay, chain 1. And 3 double crochet cluster on the next cluster chain space, 2 chain and cluster on the same chain space. Okay, chain 1 and again cluster on the chain space, next cluster area. Okay, chain 2 and 2 double crochet cluster on the same cluster area. Right, that last on round number 16, again 3 double crochet cluster, 2 chain and 3 double crochet cluster, chain 1 and slip stitch on top of this cluster. Round 16 finish. Now round 17, again slip stitch. 1 2 3 chain as considered as in double crochet, and 2 more double crochet cluster here. Okay, 2 chain, and again 3 double crochet cluster here. Right, on this chain space, on the first chain 1 space, I'm going to have a slip stitch, and same as earlier, 4 chain and slip stitch on the second chain 1 space. Again 4 chain and slip stitch on the chain 1 space. Again skip this chain, double crochet on the double crochet cluster 2 chain space. I'm going to have another double crochet cluster. 3 1 2 chains, and again double crochet cluster on the same chain space. Okay, now chain 2, and again double crochet cluster on the next double crochet cluster, chain 2 space. Two chain and 1 more double crochet on the same chain space. Okay, now here between the second and third double crochet cluster, I am going to have 3 chain space, right? And again a double crochet cluster on the third double crochet cluster, chain 2 space. Right, 2 chain 2 and 2 double crochet cluster here. Okay, again chain 2 and 2 double crochet cluster on the fourth double crochet cluster, 2 chain space. Two chain double crochet cluster on the same chain space. Right, the last of row number 17, 3 double crochet cluster here, chain 2, and again 3 double crochet cluster on the cluster, chain 2 space. Right, again chain 2 and slip stitch onto this top of this cluster. Round number 17 finish. It's going now round number 18, 3 chains and 2 double crochet cluster. Okay, 2 chain and again 3 double crochet cluster. Okay, now slip stitch here on the chain 4 space, again 4 chain and slip stitch here, 4 chain, slip stitch, Again double crochet cluster onto the cluster chain, 2 chain space. Okay, 2 chain and double crochet cluster here. Okay, now again 3 chain, right? Again on the second double crochet cluster, 2 chain space, a cluster. Chain 2 and a cluster here. Again 3 chain, and on the third double crochet cluster, another cluster, 2 cluster. Okay, 2 chain and 2 more, 1 more double crochet cluster here. Okay, again 3 chains, right? Here a double crochet cluster here. Okay, chain 2 and double crochet, and double crochet cluster here, crochet cluster here. Okay, slip stitch onto this 4 chain space, 1 2 3 4 chain, and slip stitch here, 4 chains, 4 chains, slip stitch here, okay. Now this 2 set of double crochet cluster, okay. Chain 3 double crochet cluster here, okay. Chain 2 and again 3 double crochet cluster here. Chain 3 and 3, skip these 2 chain space. On the cluster, going to have another 2 sets of clusters. Chain 2 and again a cluster here. Okay, the last set of round number 18, again double crochet, 3 double crochet cluster, 2 chain, and again 3 double crochet cluster, okay. Chain 3 and slip stitch onto this top of this cluster. Round number 18 finish. Now round number 19, again slip stitch here, 1 2 3 chains considered as a double crochet, and 2 more double crochet cluster, chain 2, and again double crochet cluster here. Okay. Slip stitch onto the chain 4 space, and 1, 2, 3, 4 chain, and again one more slip stitch, 4 chain, 1 more slip stitch. Okay, now again 3 double crochet cluster on this cluster, chain 2 space. Chain 2 and 3 double crochet cluster on this chain 2 space. Chain 4 and 2 double crochet cluster on this chain 2 cluster space. 2, 3 double crochet, 3 double crochet cluster, 2 chain, and again 3 double crochet. Chain 3 here, chain 3, skip this, and on the double crochet cluster 2 space, again cluster, 3 double crochet cluster, 2 chain, and 3 double crochet cluster. One, 2, 3, 4 chain, again 2 double crochet cluster in this chain cluster space. 1, 2, 3 double crochet cluster, 2 chains, and 3 double crochet cluster here. Slip stitch onto this chain 4 space and 4 chain, slip stitch here, right, again 2 double crochet cluster here, chain 2 and 3 double crochet cluster here, chain 4, and again 3 double crochet cluster onto this class 2 clusters area. Chain 2 and 2 double crochet cluster here. 1, 2, 3 double crochet cluster. Okay, the last set of round number 19, 3 double crochet cluster on this cluster 2 chain space, 2 chain, and again 3 double crochet cluster, okay, 4 chains, 4 chain, and slip stitch onto this cluster. Round number 19 finish. Now round number 20, again slip stitch here, 3 double crochet, 3 chain considered as a double crochet, and 2 more double crochet, cluster and 2 chains, again 3 double crochet cluster on the same chain space. Okay, now slip stitch here, chain 4, again slip stitch here and double crochet cluster on this chain space. Three double crochet cluster, 2 chain, again 3 double crochet cluster here. Right, now again 4 chain and 3 double crochet cluster onto this cluster area. Chain 2 and again 3 double crochet cluster. Okay, again chain 3 and 3 double crochet cluster on the third cluster area. 1, 2, 3. 2 chain and again 3 double crochet cluster. Again chain 4 and double crochet cluster here. Three double crochet cluster, 2 chain and again 3 double crochet cluster here. Right, the last set of round number 20, 3 double crochet cluster, 2 chain, again 3 double crochet cluster, four chain and slip stitch onto this cluster. Okay. Round number 20 finish. Now row number 21, slip stitch onto this chain space, 3 chain and again 2 double crochet cluster here. This time we are going to have 3 chains and again 3 double crochet cluster here. Okay. And slip stitch onto this chain space. Again 3 double crochet cluster here. Okay, 3 chains, 3 double crochet cluster here. Okay, here I'm going to have 5 chains. 5 chains, again 3 double crochet cluster here. Double crochet cluster, 3 chains and one more 3 double crochet cluster on this cluster area. This is the first cluster out of 4. Okay. On the second cluster, 3 chain and again 3 double crochet cluster here. Again 3 chain and 3 double crochet cluster here. Okay. Again 5 chain and 3 double crochet cluster here. Three chain, again 3 double crochet cluster. Okay, slip stitch onto this chain space, and again 3 double crochet cluster. Three chain and 3 double crochet cluster here. Okay. Again 5 chains and 3 double crochet cluster here. Okay. 3 chains and 3 double crochet cluster here. Right. The last set of row number 21, 3 double crochet cluster, 3 chain and again 3 double crochet cluster here. And 3 double crochet cluster here, chain 1 and slip stitch on top of this cluster. Sorry. Finish. Our project is finished. It's going to be like this. Okay, hope you all enjoy my video. Thank you so much.